How about that one guy? I mean, that guy deserves a bonus. Who took that kick at the beginning? Holy
His
crap! Give that
soul,
guy a
his
bonus.
soul left his body when Braun Strowman kicked him like that. Like, holy cow, man! That kick was brutal. Braun needs to get that mainstream appeal. Maybe then they'll book him better. I don't know what Braun Strowman needs, honestly, because this time last year, the talk of the town was Braun Strowman. Let's get this man the title. Get it off Reigns. Right now, Braun Strowman is the man. Everybody
Yeah,
loves him. You
I
know,
mean,
hands, blah blah blah. And now
I
it's just
mean,
how are we supposed to get this guy um, back to where he was a year ago? Oh,
yeah,
let's have him
because
go backstage, throw people around, beat shit up backstage, that type of shit.
yeah, I was just gonna say because remember last year at the end of Survivor Series, it was Triple H and Strowman face to face, and I think didn't Strowman knock him out or something like that. And then it's like Triple H ran into the wall, the stage wall or whatever it was last year. But I mean, everyone was kind of wanting to see Triple H and Strowman. I mean, they were kind of wanting to see that. So and then now it's like within the last, you turned him heel, and you turned him face, and you made him start playing guitars, which some people didn't mind the comedic side of him. But Vince does this to people all the time. He brings in monsters, then he tries to make them a comedic act, and then he tries to make them a badass again, which it doesn't work because it happened with the Big Show and it didn't work. Happened with Vladimir Kozlov and it didn't work because then you turned him
Oh,
in. You
Vladimir
remember
Call.
that?
Oh my god.
You remember when he was brought
Oh,
in as this monster
oh my
and no one could beat him, and
god.
then we got him and Dancing Santino.
Oh my god. Vladimir Kozlov.
Even
They make
Khali.
a joke and they try to undo it. Exactly, Eddie. That's a great point. Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I
You
just
know, you
said.
had him. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like you said, you had him playing a guitar. You had him doing all these kind of comedic promos to try to get him that funny ha ha feel with the crowd. That's not what got Braun Strowman over. What got Braun Strowman over was him being a monster, him not giving a crap what you
No, no.
said, him beating up cars and launching cars across the room. That's what people loved and wanted to see each night on Raw. Not him going out there and putting out a 5 to 10 minute promo. That's not Braun Strowman.
Where's the moderators at?
Oh, the moderators are kicking ass tonight. Why? You can
They need to get rid of this one idiot because I can't do it.
Oh, lead. Oh yeah, the lead Steelers guy. Just ignore him. You're gonna get those type of trolls, and those guys just want to be recognized because obviously they have no life. But it's okay. Even with Tinside, same thing with Prince Albert. Yeah,
Yep.
yep,
He beat John Cena. And
yeah.
let's not forget though, Kevin Federline beat John Cena. So
Well, Braun really got over because of his feud with. You think it was because of Roman? That's a good point. Do you think maybe he got extra over because people disliked Roman so damn much that they thought maybe this could be the time that we get someone new? Is that possible?
I mean, I don't know when. I guess people started seeing once he left the Wyatt family, he started to come on his own and just take out jobbers, and people just want kind of like how I don't want to say they're similar, but kind of like how Ryback was in a way when he was beating up jobbers, and people started to get behind him a little bit, and then
Right.
now it's like with Strowman, and then now Roman's hurt or dealing with his leukemia. Um,
I saw that
it's
red
just
bar.
not working. It's just not working anymore. I mean, people aren't into it. I mean, you look what they did to Elias. They changed him, and it's working because you didn't just change him in 230 in 1 month. He's a heel. The next day, he's a face again. I mean, it just makes no sense at all. And I
Yeah,
bet
well,
Brock gets a good pop next week.
yeah. Speaking, and that's the funny thing because we don't know what the ratings are out now. I don't care to know. We'll look on Saturday's show, and we'll because the reason why and I'm not a big ratings guy. I don't really touch on ratings too much on the show. Y'all guys know that. We do kind of touch on it here and there when it's worthy. What's up, Brandon? After thank you for joining. I'm curious to see what their ratings were last night and what it is to compare to next week. And now people are going to say, "Oh, well, Steph's on the show too." Come on now, really seriously. Brock Lesnar on the show next week. I'm curious to see what the ratings boom is going to be with him being on the show next week. It's going to be definitely interesting to see what they do there. Red Sox fan did mention something in the chat room that I did read online before we popped on, is that Braun Strowman is dealing with injuries right now. I don't want to get too into it right now, but it seems like his knees seem to be the problem. So it seems like WWE's injuries is just keep stacking up. And right now, I tell you what, WWE booking wise on Raw and Raw in general, since Roman Reigns got hurt, or excuse me, got hurt, but announced his illness. It's been a shitstorm. They don't know what to do, and I don't blame them for putting the title back on Brock, because I think that's like the. I think honestly that was probably the smartest thing to do. But how big of a shitstorm has Raw been since this whole announcement with Roman? We have no direction. We don't even have. I couldn't even tell you who's going to be the next top guy to face Brock Lesnar. Could you?
Unless they're really going hard on Drew, I mean, I don't know.
It's just weird how talent that is on Raw is getting misused. Raw talent that is getting used, it's just not working the way they're booking them. It's just it's just mind blowing at some
Yeah,
times.
other than like the actor just said, I mean, Lashley. I mean, that's the only guy who's really
Lash.
been. Go ahead, do
When are
your
they going to
thing.
come out with some Lashley shirts? This says Lashley 3 times on the shirt. Can we just get that, WWE? I would buy that shirt in a heartbeat. But here's the thing: we get a rematch between the Evolution match with Bailey, Sasha Banks, and Natalya, and the Riot Squad. And I tweeted this last night, and like we've already bitched and moaned and complained enough on this show about Bailey and Sasha Banks and how the feud just has not led to anything. The friendship is just kind of corny as fuck now. And you go back to the days when these ladies were in the WWE NXT and they were killing it, tearing the house down, having match of the year candidate matches. And all we could talk about is how we wish these ladies were on the main roster and how they could kill it and how, Sasha Banks or Bailey could be the next, thing on the WWE's, main roster. And it's just been crap what they've done with those two ladies. And I don't even know what to think. Now they're hugging. Now you got Sasha Banks doing the Bailey with the balloons crap. You have Natalya crying after Ruby breaks her father's sunglasses. And was it necessary for WWE to pan and zoom in on Natalya while she's crying like that? Like seriously, that was
Yeah, I mean, she's taking some notes from Sammy Callahan too. She wasn't just crying.
right. I mean, what in the hell are they doing with the ladies on Raw? It seems like they don't know what the hell they do with them either. Now we're just gonna keep talking about the ladies. You have Nia Jax and Ember Moon. You have Nia win. You have Tamina stomp down again, come down to the ring, and she finally attacks. They both attack Ember Moon, and now they're a group. It seems like I'm not sure
A tag team.
if they're actually a tag team or what. It just what the hell are they doing? And now I guess I hate to say it, and I think maybe Alex mentioned it or someone in the chat room. Seems like Nia Jax is the goddamn big show of the women's division. Seriously, she's turning heel one day, she's a face the next.
Oh, okay.
I don't get what they're doing with her either. You got talented women on this show. The women I just named: Sasha Banks, Riot Squad, Bailey, Ember Moon, just to name a few.
So I guess this means Nia and Alexa can be best friends again since they're both heels. I mean, in that 6-man or 6-women tag, it had like 2, maybe 3 commercial breaks. I'm like, does it really need to be this long? I mean, seriously?
That was the longest opening women's match ever that I didn't give a shit about. And it's not because of the women involved. It's because we see the same shit each week on Raw. And I don't mean to crap on Raw. And yes, you don't like it, don't watch it type of thing. Sure, easier said than done when you're a big wrestling fan like us. But it's it's hard to not say something when you get the same crap all the time on Raw, and when you're finally kind of happy when you get something new, like an Elias versus Dolph Ziggler, and
Yeah.
maybe even something with Apollo Crews because Jinder Mahal takes on Apollo Crews, and I'm like, oh god, Apollo Crews is probably going to take this loss, and that just shows what they think of Apollo Crews. But he gets the win, and why the hell not put this man on the Raw Smack Survivor Series team?
Because he's not that big of a star right now. But I mean, I'll tell you why we got that 6-1 tag. Because it's just Vince sitting backstage like, look, there. I got 6 women on TV. Now leave me alone. I mean, that's all it is, just to show. Because they had to talk about the grow up thing that they're doing, which is a good thing, I guess. And they had to do that. So that's one reason they did it. And it's just, I don't mind Tamina and Nia becoming a team just because, it's not that it's something different, but to me, it adds another layer. And the whole thing with Natalia's dad's sunglasses, I mean, I get what they're trying to do, but it's so overdone. They're trying to make it personal, and how could Ruby do something like that?
Did you
Her
see
dad.
apparently, Ruby was getting backlash over this.
I'm not
And
surprised
apparently,
with
people never
today's.
watched when the Big Show dragged no Big Boss Man dragged the Big Show's father's casket with the Big
Tony,
Show on top of
you
it.
can't compare that though. You can't compare. It's different times.
Right,
We were a different audience back then. That was a completely different audience.
I can
Today,
picture in my head Big Show riding that
yeah.
casket.
Well, what about when Big Boss Man fed Al Snow his dog? I mean, can you imagine if that happened today?
Oh yeah.
Oh, Peter would have a fit.
Yeah, I agree with you on that.
It's a sensitive era. That's what it is. It's the sensitive era we're in right now. Everyone's offended.
TV show, ladies and gentlemen. If you're gonna get upset at someone breaking someone's sunglasses that probably were not owned by Anvil Neidhart, you think Natalia would let Ruby Riott go out there and break her father's sunglasses? I mean, come on, people, think about this shit sometimes. I get it. As wrestling fans, we try to believe as much as we can, and we get stuck into the hole sometimes. And we're gonna tweet to Ruby, how dare you break her sunglasses? That's her father's. I mean, come on, seriously, Jesus Louise. But Apollo Crews wins. But does this mean anything? Why not put this man on the Raw team? Do you think it happens, or do you just think this was just a random win for Apollo Crews?
I just think it was, oh, you won last week? Okay, you can win this week. That's what I think it was. I don't think it means anything. Which in reality it should, because he just beat a former WWE champion, so it should mean something. But I think it's just going to be like next week, oh, Jinder's going to beat him next week. It's just going to be the back and forth.
Oh, here we go. Look at Red Sox fan. Fine, I'm a WWE fan. Did that make you feel better, Red Sox fan? Seth Rollins makes his way down to the ring. Says Corbin did to Braun at Crown Jewel, and having Brock win was a slap in the face to Roman and to everyone here tonight. Seth says he would say it to Brock's face, but of course he's not here. Seth talks about Dean not speaking about what he did to Seth 2 weeks ago. Seth says it's probably impossible to defend the tag titles by himself. And that's when we see Corbin interrupt Seth Rollins and says he thinks he can defend the tag titles and he can do it with his partner right now. AOP comes out, and that is who we're seeing face Rollins in a handicap match because Dean Ambrose doesn't show up until after the match. We get new tag team champions in AOP, but my question to you, Dave, is: are you kind of not upset, but maybe let down that they didn't really do with anything with Dean Ambrose during this match? Not a run in, not a
they did. No, or after the match,
not even maybe forcing Dean Ambrose to be with Seth Rollins.
No.
What did you think of this?
I mean, I wasn't upset about that. I figured that's what's going to happen because what they wanted to do, obviously, is get the tag titles off of them, which I don't know why you made them win the tag titles to begin with. I mean, it makes no sense, but whatever. Just to have this happen. But, hey, I'm glad AOP are the tag champions. I mean, good for them. But, I mean, it's just because they didn't want to have them have the tag titles and the IC title tied up in one feud again, like it was for the last few months, where it was just
Right.
all three titles were tied up in one thing. Now we get to. I'm excited for this match now too. I mean,
AOP versus
AOP
Bar.
bar. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to that match. I'm pretty sure AOP is gonna win, but man, I mean, Big Show might be a factor too, so you never know. But I mean, that's to me that could be a fun match of those four big guys just beating the hell out of each other. I look forward to
That's
that. But
that match right there is going to be a hard hitting match right there. Definitely. I'm curious to see how that match goes and who wins.
yeah,
Because
I like how
AOP
Dean. Yeah,
does the bar really need to win that bad? I mean, I don't think so.
not really.
I can really see AOP picking up the win that match.
Yeah, I do. I think they win too. I mean, it makes most sense. They just won the tag titles, and it makes Maverick stock even rise even higher as a manager now because he just brought them the tag titles in just a couple months. So I mean, I would love to see him create him a little faction. You know, that's kind of cool. But on the flip side of everything, with the Rollins side, I mean, man, he's had a bad few days, but still, I mean, I like how they're doing this with Ambrose. I'm not really a fan of this feud, but I like that they're having Ambrose not really say anything, and Renee doesn't know anything, and so all he said was, "You want to know why?" and then DDT and walks away.
Yeah, they're doing a good job with Dean Ambrose. I think he's one of the reasons probably why you would tune in onto a Raw because there's not very many reasons to tune into Raw other than Dean Ambrose and what we're getting each week with him and Seth Rollins and I guess Brock Lesnar and
You're not tuning in to see the Lucha House Party and the Revival.
oh my god, yeah, we'll
Looks like
carry.
that's continuing.
We'll continue on. We got Dolph Ziggler who comes out to the ring and says that Shane McMahon is not the best in the world. Dolph says he is the best in the world. And that's when we get Elias interrupting and sings a song about him losing to Shane. And that's when Dolph challenges Elias to a match. And we get Elias taking on Dolph Ziggler in a new, refreshing match, something that we haven't seen before. WWE, thank you. Really appreciate that. Some creative thinking there. Appreciate you, doing something different for once. Elias gets the win. Your thoughts of this match and what they're doing with Elias at the moment?
I like it. I mean, I thought it was funny when he mentioned if he sings this song, Oasis will get back together. I'm guessing that was the front man, one of the guys in the crowd, and they panned right to him, and he just looked at him like, "What the hell are you talking about?" But I mean, yeah, it was funny. It was a funny little segment, and then about Dolph out there crying that he got robbed of this little thing, little trophy. But I mean, yeah, it was different. I was kind of surprised how Dolph just went out there and he said all that and then he lost. So it doesn't really do much good for his case.
Now, here's the thing. I tweeted out that Elias can be the next big star in the WWE, especially on Raw. He could be that guy that could be the leader of Raw as a face. It just seems like it's working. What do you think? Could it happen?
Yeah, it could. There's a lot of people on Raw could be, but will they? And will Vince let them? I mean, that's the big question. I know Vince seems to be high on Elias, but it doesn't take much to be not in favor. And Vince doesn't like you can do anything that pisses him off, have a bad match, or something like that. So, I mean, you never know. I mean, he could be. You're right. It depends how slow and how much more he wants to focus on a guy like Braun Strowman. If he's hurt, then maybe they go Drew McIntyre. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's not like these guys have any titles they can go for because I see titles going to be between Dean and Seth, and the world title. Who knows what that's going to? Who knows who's going to be fighting for that? But yeah, it's kind of up in the air.
Again, thank you for the moderators getting on to those porn bops. Really do appreciate that. Getting on at those. I added a couple of more new moderators just so we can absolutely get everybody on the case, and you guys are killing it tonight. So I really appreciate that. Red Sox fan, Bob Ruski, Jeffrey Cross, just to name a few. So thank you guys for coming in here and kicking ass. And again, thank you guys for the super hearts from Speeds and Jeffrey Cross. Don't forget, we are live over on YouTube. If you don't mind, going over to the YouTubes. and hitting that subscribe button. Right now, we're at 89 subscribers. Would love to hit 90 or even 100 soon. So appreciate you guys jumping over on YouTube. We got 4 people over there on YouTube watching right now. So appreciate that. If you were live on the chat room, say hello. We got Nathan in the chat room. So thank you for him jumping in and popping in, and thank you for everybody on Periscope. Hey mods, give me a chance to copy down the links for my viewing later before you block them. Look at England JT. You're
You know
funny.
what? You know what I found funny? All this, I noticed it a lot because they're overseas lately, and they were in Saudi Arabia,
What's up,
and
Juanito?
you hear the crowd more saying, or maybe it's just me. I notice it more the crowd saying "burn it down" a lot more when they're overseas than you do in the U.S. Am I wrong about that?
I don't know. He was super over in Saudi Arabia. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I know, but I never noticed it before. When the show last night and the show in Saudi Arabia, right before he comes out, the crowd chants "burn it down," and I just didn't notice that much before lately. Maybe it's just me noticing it, or maybe it's just
I
the
think it's
fact
more you just noticing it. It's probably
because I think
watching.
it's you don't think it's the crowd that they're in front of. That's why it's happening.
Oh, I'm sure
But
it's a little bit louder when they're overseas. But he's pretty much gets that burn it down pop every time he comes out.
okay, yeah, I mean, it looks like the only one to burn anything down was AOP last night. But okay,
Yeah, basically. Last night also we got Ronda Rousey replying back to Becky Lynch, mentioning her going to clown school and basically saying, "I'm the baddest bitch on the planet." So what
oh,
did you?
she said, "Bitch."
Yeah, she said the magic B word, everybody. So what did you think of Ronda Rousey's promo last night towards Becky Lynch?
It didn't seem genuine at all to me. It didn't seem real. I know it's not. I get it. It's staged, not real. But I don't know. I just wasn't really feeling it. Her promo at all. I mean, yeah, she might have had some nice points on it, but to me, it didn't really draw. Just because she dropped the name "bitch" didn't really like. Ooh, no, it didn't really do. Her promo didn't do nothing for me. Pointless to have her there just in the ring to talk. To me, that's just pointless.
I think BJ. I think a lot of people think Seth Rollins is over, and I'm actually kind of surprised, other than Brock, that Vince didn't say, you know what, let's try and see what we can do with Seth Rollins. Um, I get it. Ronda Rousey's probably going to come out next week as well and do the same shit. I mean, how awesome would it be? Would if she's doing her promo Monday night and Becky comes out from behind and attacks her? I think that would be pretty cool to see that. Pretty, have that right before Survivor Series. Yes, it's probably leading up to maybe Ronda Rousey beating her at Survivor Series. But how cool would that be? She comes out, attacks her, like kind of like what she did with Charlotte. Dressed up in a hoodie or something like that, and she's going around high fiving the fans, and then she attacks her, kind of doing the Becky Lynch type of thing.
Well, it seems like that's all Vince thinks that, oh, no one is as tough as Ronda, so you have to injure her or make her think she's hurt to have a chance against her. So I could definitely see something. I was surprised I didn't see something like that tonight, like Ronda showing up tonight on SmackDown, just because they shared the same arena, I believe, last night at all, the same one they did tonight. So I figured because they were in England, it would have been a lot easier.
The X in the chat room says there has to be an invasion next week. What you think? You think there's an invasion of some sort next week?
I hope not, because it does nothing. I mean, is anyone really buying this whole SmackDown versus Raw crap? I mean, it doesn't mean anything, really. I mean, it's just like, we got to do this. Well, this is only because Roman had to leave and deal with his leukemia, and now they're like scrambling to change everything. And the original word was that there wasn't going to be Raw versus SmackDown; it was going to be something else. And so now they just decided to just go with it, and it seems like they're trying to just do everything so quickly.
Okay. Now, next we got Lashley taking on Finn Balor, and the only thing that I got out of this was the physical altercation we got with Finn Balor and Leo Rush. And I'm telling you, people, let's have this match on 205 Live. Imagine you have on Raw next week, they say, for a special night, Finn Balor is going to get his hands on Leo Rush. No, not on Raw, but we're going to get it live on 205 Live on Wednesday. I know you are a valid
Why?
205. Why? What? To get the people to watch
Why
it.
would Drake want someone who can't even win a match on 205 Live?
As in who? Finn Balor?
Yeah, he can't win.
Because
Why would he want him on
he's
205
a
Live?
ratings drawer. He's a guy that would bring ratings
I
to
don't know.
205 Live.
Okay, let me ask you this. I'll give you another match, and I want everyone in the chat to decide which match would be more of a ratings draw. Finn Balor versus Lio Rush, or Lio Rush versus Rey Mysterio. Which would be more of a ratings draw?
Why do you want poor Rey Mysterio on 205 Live, Dave? That is
Answer
such
the question.
disrespect.
What would draw more?
Of course, people are most likely going to say Rey Mysterio, but
because he fits it.
Because so does Finn Balor. I mean, Finn Balor can't get a win on Raw. Jesus Christ, put the man on 205 Live where he can actually, have a shot, have a chance, maybe even become a champion. He hasn't done shit on Raw since he became, since he got hurt and had to lose the championship. You can't.
Yeah, I mean, Ray would be more entertaining though because of his cruiserweight background, what he's known for. I mean,
but here's the thing: Ray can't do the stuff that he used to do.
He doesn't have to. Just Rey Mysterio being there alone, even if he does what he does on SmackDown, that would be fine enough for me.
I don't know. Seeing Finn Balor doing some of those crazy stunts outside the ring and on 205 Live, I think would bring a lot of new eyes. I mean, a lot. Come on, people. If just for one night only, I think a lot of people would tune into 205 Live. If
you want to do one night only, don't make it Lio Rush. I mean, make it like
they've been teasing that
Balor.
Something's gonna happen with Balor and Lio Rush.
Yeah, I know.
They're first. I mean, 2 weeks ago we have him slapping Finn Balor. This week we had Finn Balor dive outside dive outside the ring or kicked him or something. He did the coup de grace outside onto Lio Rush. Something's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen between the two where they're gonna have. I don't hate Finn Balor. I don't. And I don't remember. I don't know if No Effects was on the show when I said this, and I don't remember if. And I know a lot of you remember. First, I think right after WrestleMania, who was the guy that was looking like something was going to happen? Finn Balor. I even said, "Oh my gosh, this might be Finn Balor's year." And once I said those magical words, Finn Balor has been on a mountain hill down to the fucking hell. I don't even know what you want to say. He's just been in WWE hell for the last couple of months. There's no reason for him to be on Raw when he can do something else on 205 Live. He fits the damn whole show. His ring style, his everything.
Okay, and tell me that Rey Mysterio doesn't fit the style and doesn't fit the show.
Rey Mysterio deserves to be where he's at, Dave.
I agree with that, but I think as a vet, you want to bring in a guy like a Rey Mysterio who's already done everything. He's done everything he can, and he's won all the titles, tag champion, cruiserweight, everything. Send him to 205 Live to help get that show on the map and get more people tuning into it would be a big draw for 205 Live. Instead of having Finn Balor finish out his career on 205 Live.
I don't want him to finish out his career, but at least have him there a couple of months and then bring him back on Raw after WrestleMania. How about that? Have him some momentum go in there,
Finn Balor, I don't hate Finn Balor. I actually don't mind him, but I mean, I just don't. I think it's stupid to put him on 205 Live because he's still pretty young. A guy like Rey Mysterio would fit because he's past his prime and he's like when you'll get this. Love this analogy. Like, was Tim Duncan when he came back for the final year? I mean, was he coming back to be the star of this? No, he was a role player. A role player.
Mysterio's back for a credible run. I could see Mysterio definitely in the world title picture on SmackDown Live. Definitely.
I can't see him winning no title on SmackDown Live. Maybe the U.S. title.
I don't think he'll win the world title, but I definitely see that he'll be more of a impact player on SmackDown Live than Finn Balor would be on Raw. Well, let's continue with Raw because this is a whole debate that we can have on a Saturday
Yeah,
night.
yeah, we could.
Uh, let's get to the main event, which was Drew McIntyre versus Kurt Angle. Yes, Drew McIntyre. It was originally supposed to be Baron Corbin, but Baron Corbin was being a wuss the whole night, running from from Braun Strowman. That he left the arena and said that instead of him, it would be Drew McIntyre versus Kurt Angle. If everybody remembers, um, Kurt Angle and Drew McIntyre have a pass in TNA at the time, and I believe Kurt Angle's last match was against Drew McIntyre in TNA. So yeah, I guess here comes full circle to where we have McIntyre taking on Kurt Angle, and I don't know what this was. This was just McIntyre giving Kurt Angle not only a physical beatdown, but a verbal beatdown. I mean, the words that McIntyre was saying to Kurt Angle was just crazy. Guess they really want to establish Drew McIntyre as the next number one heel on Raw. That's the way at least I see it. They just embarrassed Kurt Angle last night. They even had Kurt Angle
Yeah,
to the ankle lock. Impact Wrestling, Red Sox fan, but it was TNA at the time when he was in there. Not really sure what to think of this. I'm excited and happy that they are pushing Drew McIntyre. And since he's been brought up to the main roster, I don't believe he's taking a singles match loss. I couldn't be mistaken. And even in tag matches, he's not the guy losing, and he still looks credible every time he wrestles. What did you get out of this main event with McIntyre and Kurt Angle?
that so they really don't like Kurt Angle. I mean, jeez, I have no problem McIntyre winning the match. I don't care. That's fine. A young guy like that should go over a veteran like Kurt Angle. I mean, it just should. But just the way it happened, it almost seemed like they were trying to not maybe bury or a little bit, maybe not bury, but kind of give Kurt a little bit of dirt, or whatever the word I'm looking for is, a get crap on him for leaving and going to TNA for all those years. I mean, it's
I wouldn't
crazy
go
because
that
that's,
far.
I mean, to have him take an Olympic slam and tap out to his own move. I mean, that was
I think
just,
what they were trying to do was establish McIntyre as a heel. That's what my opinion is, because Kurt Angle is loved by everyone, and if you want to be completely honest, McIntyre he's a heel, but he still gets cheered. Not majority of the crowd is cheering for him, but he still is over with the loud of the crowd. And Kurt Angle's loved by by everybody in the WWE. I don't think a lot of people dislike Kurt Angle. Maybe that's their way of saying, that he's destroying and embarrassing the lovable Kurt Angle, And,
if this is how
and
you're
to
going
be
to
honest
go ahead.
with you, also, I'm sorry, Drew McIntyre should do that to Kurt Angle. He should be manhandling Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle is his age. He's not who he once was. McIntyre is in his prime. McIntyre should be doing what he did last night to Kurt Angle. If you really want
Yeah,
to be honest.
but Kurt Angle, to me, if this is how you're going to use him, then don't put him in the ring out there anymore. If this is what you're going to do to Kurt Angle each week, I mean, I would say don't even use him like that. I mean, because they really have? Would they go out there and do the same thing to other people? I don't think they would. Would you have Undertaker or Shawn Michaels out there lose to his own move? No. You
Yeah.
think Shawn Michaels is going to have a match on Raw and get super kicked by Dolph Ziggler and lose 1, 2, 3 cleaning like that? No. They have too much respect for him to do that. I don't think they would do that to anyone else.
If it was HBK, Drew would have got buried like British Bulldog. Oh, God. So is Angle still GM? I don't know. They haven't really mentioned that. I guess not. I don't know. To me, this is kind of weird where they had Kurt Angle have that type of a kind of a long match last night on Raw. He main evented Raw. It's kind of weird. I don't know if this is what their way of testing Kurt Angle, see how long he can actually have a match. I don't know if they're trying to maybe build something with Kurt Angle. It's going to be interesting to see, because I know a lot of the speculation was Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin at Survivor Series, but I don't think it's going to go that route.
I think we're probably going to see Stephanie come out saying if Baron Corbin loses, then Kurt Angle is going to be reinstated as general manager or something like that.
Yeah, Stephanie McMahon will be on Raw next week. Also, Brock Lesnar will be live next week on Raw, and we'll probably find out who are the next guys that will be on Team Raw next week because we found out who will be on Team SmackDown Live tonight. Before we jump into SmackDown Live, Dave, what would you give the rating to Raw last night?
Jeez. This was a bad show. I'll give it a 1.
I'm going to have to give it the same number, a 1. It wasn't that great of a show last night, and I get it. They had a tough traveling schedule, and maybe they kind of had a little bit of a, throwaway show last night. But yeah, it was just wasn't that great of a Raw last night. So we jump over to SmackDown, and that's where we have Commissioner Shane and Paige come out. Also, Alexa Bliss. Yes, Alexa Bliss will announce Team Raw next week as well. Thank you, DX, for
reminding me. It was funny how they did that on SmackDown tonight. Basically, both teams were all announced on SmackDown.
Let's be real. We really want to know what Kurt has done to reconcile his relationship with Jason Jordan. Yeah, Jason Jordan hasn't been mentioned on Raw in quite some time, surprisingly. Again, thank you guys for joining us. This is Get the Tables podcast. We are live every Tuesdays and Saturday nights. Tuesdays are our Raw and SmackDown live shows. And on Saturdays are our shoot the shit shows. We touch on everything going on in the wrestling community. We touch on NXT, Impact Wrestling, and 205. Don't forget, Thursday after dark, Impact Wrestling will be having their special with Johnny Impact taking on Killer Cross for the Impact World Championship. We'll also see Eddie Edwards taking on Moose. And what else am I missing, Dave? Is there a women's title match on that show? I don't think there is.
No, there isn't. But there is what is it? Sami Callihan.
Brian Cage versus Sami Callihan. Ohio. And Brian Cage is going to Ohio to face Sami Callihan. So a little plug for Impact Wrestling on Thursday night. And then in NXT, Wednesday night tomorrow, we got Velveteen Dream taking on Lars Sullivan. So if you're interested in that, you got that tomorrow. Saturday is the old news show, Red Sox, but
205 Live.
Yeah, 205 Live tomorrow as well. So we got Shane McMahon and Paige come out tonight to announce the SmackDown Live team. And Shane introduces everyone to the captain of the SmackDown Live team, which is Daniel Bryan. That's when The Miz comes out and says that he disagrees with Daniel and says Shane is the best in the world. He's a little disappointed that he went through 2 matches only to go down with an injury. And Shane stepping in says half of that trophy belongs to him. Shane says, had Miz lost, he wouldn't even be here. And that's when he said, if anyone deserves to be captain of Team SmackDown, it's him. So Shane says, based on his performance, Miz is right and names him the captain. Shane then says Daniel Bryan is also the captain, so Miz and Daniel Bryan will be co-captains of the Men's Survivor Series team. Your thoughts on that, Dave?
They really missed the boat on having all this crap happen now. Because can you imagine if this was announced like 2 or 3 weeks out? They could have really had, because to me tonight they had some really fun and funny banter back and forth where they were actually agreeing. It was just kind of the funny stuff they were doing backstage. And if they would have had this a few weeks out, they could have had some really entertaining stuff on SmackDown with these guys. But hey, we get 1 week of it. That's about it. We'll get 2 next week. We'll get something with it too, I'm sure. But it just seems like they missed the boat on that. But yeah, I think it's interesting, and I kind of like it. I would love it if they forced them to be a tag team. Can you imagine that?
Oh gosh, and it would have been better, I think, if they wouldn't have had them feud already had that match at SummerSlam and all that, and them still not like each other, and them hate each other, and them have them to be co-captains. That would have been a little bit more interesting as well. Next, we had the New Day take on the Usos, and the winner of this match would be the captain of Team SmackDown on the tag team division. The Usos take the win, and they announce also that New Day will be on the team as well. So it's the Usos and the New Day so far for Team SmackDown Live.
Good match too.
Good match. I can't be wrong. I can't deny that when these 4 men or 5 men have a match between each other, they tear the house down. They always have good matches. I'm just kind of tired of seeing these guys go at it. SmackDown Live's tag division is a joke. You got what the club, the Colognes. You're gonna throw one on Team SmackDown. Obviously, it's gonna be one of those two teams. Who else could they use? Insanity. Highly doubt.
Yeah, because that would be good. Just throw Sanity on there. I mean, thanks to Nikki Cross, actually got on TV tonight.
Yeah, so it's just interesting to see what they're gonna would do with these.
Hey, to me, SmackDown brought it tonight, and Raw didn't give a shit.
Right, absolutely. I can give you that. I agree with you on that. Now, if you were gonna guess, who does? I'm not sure how many other tag teams they're gonna add. Is it 2 more or just 1 more? Who do you think gets added to
Well, that
this?
would be if they added one more team. That would be 6. So,
Okay, 1 more tag team. What team?
are they going to add 4 tag teams if they want to add?
That'd be a.
I guess Sanity, like you said, if they wanted to throw Sanity in there as well too, they could do that. And then for Raw side, who do you add on the Raw side for tag teams? Give me some tag teams that's going to be. I mean,
B team.
what Lucha House Party and the Revival are going to be on Team Raw?
Yeah, it's just I don't even know what to say to that. Next we talked about the backstage segments of Daniel Bryan. They also announced that Daniel Bryan wants Rey Mysterio on Team SmackDown, and Daniel Bryan and The Miz also asked for Shane McMahon to be on Team SmackDown Live, the best in the world.
Who needs a T-shirt?
Of course, Shane McMahon has to be on this show, right? Of course.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't it be? He's the he's the leader, basically the leader of Raw. So why wouldn't he be on the show? I figured he'd be on the Survivor Series team anyway. Ever since he's taken over SmackDown, he's been on the team.
He's the best in the world. He has to be on the team.
Yeah, why would you not want the best in the world on your Survivor Series team?
Seriously, if you don't have the best in the world on your team, then you're lacking, and he just adds more to the team. I mean, without Shane McMahon, I don't see how SmackDown Live could win.
Yeah, and with Braun Strowman, I don't see how Raw's going to win.
So Shane McMahon is added to SmackDown Live's team along with with Rey Mysterio. And then later they announced that they will pick one member each and they will face each other to get the last spot. Daniel Bryan picks Jeff Hardy and The Miz picks Samoa Joe, which is kind of interesting since Daniel Bryan and Samoa Joe are kind of feuding at the moment. Since 2 weeks ago when Samoa Joe attacked Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles after their title match. What was your thoughts on the two guys that were picked and Samoa Joe being the last guy chosen?
I don't mind it. I was thinking it was going to be a super face team for a minute, but with The Miz. But yeah, I mean, I like it. Joe, it kind of levels out a little bit. It kind of evens everything out with the two. Daniel Bryan and Rey, the two ultimate fan favorites, and Joe and The Miz kind of heel-ish. People still like them, but still. Hey, if you ask me, SmackDown Live's team is loaded.
Yeah, SmackDown Live has a nice little team with Samoa Joe, The Miz, Daniel Bryan, Rey Mysterio, Shane McMahon. Well, I mean, Shane McMahon is the best in the world, so they are technically loaded with talent.
I mean, yeah, you got the best in the world. You got Daniel Bryan, Rey, Miz, Joe. I mean, you got maybe Braun Strowman for Raw and Ziggler and McIntyre. I mean,
yeah, and Little Zay mentions him in the chat, and Dave, we talked about him too before we went live. No Randy Orton. He did attack Rey Mysterio after his match with Cien Almas, but no Randy Orton on Team SmackDown. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering what's the deal with that and what's in line for Randy Orton. But let's get to Rey
Okay,
Mysterio.
really quick. Let's
Okay,
talk about this for 1 second.
go ahead.
Yeah, we said it before we went live. I even told you this, but Randy Orton has been white hot. How can you not have him on your SmackDown team? But that's all I'll say to that. And that's what I agree with whoever said that. But yeah, I mean, Randy Orton should be on this team. But we can go on to Ray.
Yes, we had Rey Mysterio take on Andrade Cien Almas, and this match itself was better than anything we saw on Raw. What a match between these two men. Rey Mysterio picks up the win. Rey Mysterio not holding back on anything since coming back to the WWE, high flying, springboard splashes, doing everything that he used to do when he was with the WWE. What is your thoughts on this match and the outcome of Rey Mysterio winning?
I don't mind it. I figured he was going to win. Sorry, Alex, but I mean, yeah, this was a good match. I think this was a dream match for a lot of people wanting to see this match.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they've ever wrestled on the Indies at all, but I know Almas tweeted out earlier in the day or yesterday or whenever it was announced that he was really excited, kind of excited for this match. I took from the tweet because he grew up idolizing Rey Mysterio, like a lot of people did.
Absolutely.
I mean, and it was a fun match. I mean, it really was. I mean, they really have to be. To me, Almas is like SmackDown's version of a Drew McIntyre, because Drew McIntyre has not been put in any boring matches or any boring feuds. Or you can say Seth Rollins, but that's another story. But I mean, Almas, every match he's had besides Sin Cara, we'll kind of forget about that, have been meaningful in big matches. He's had a lot of big matches on SmackDown.
Yeah, he's looked good in all of his matches as well. So is Andrade a jobber now? He hasn't been on TV in a long time until tonight and loses. I don't know if he's a jobber, but they don't have anything for him at the moment. That's for sure. At least
He's up there putting on good matches with Hall of Famers and I mean, he had a great match with AJ Styles. He had a great match with Rey Mysterio tonight. I mean, you can't really say he's being buried or being a jobber. A jobber is someone who loses in 30 seconds. I mean, he definitely didn't lose in 30 seconds.
and we're talking about him still after the match, and even probably thought this was the match of the night as well. Selena is hurt as well. Jesus, I mean WWE can't catch a break with the injuries. Randy always does good in Survivor Series tags. He's been Soul Survivor a couple times, says Bob Ruski. No, Cien was without Vega tonight. Red Sox fan. He's on the cusp. He's not getting squashed. Yeah, that's a good. There you go. That's a good way of putting it, England. That's a better way of putting it. What's up, legit medalist? Thank you for joining.
And they did mention it on commentary that she's off doing managerial duties.
Yeah,
so that's why she wasn't there.
AKA, she's hurt, so she didn't make the trip. So we had also Paige announce the SmackDown Live team. Carmella, Naomi, Sonya Deville, Asuka, and she announced Charlotte, but Charlotte doesn't make her way down to the ring. It was Mandy. And I mean, Mandy was saying, she was dropping truth, saying that Asuka is yesterday's news and Carmella's dance breaks are like her title reigns, short and meaningless, and going on and on. And I thought, it was a nice segment. I'm not sure what they're doing with Charlotte. I don't know if they're going to take her out and insert Mandy instead, but what are your thoughts on the SmackDown Live women's team so far?
I think it's a good team. I mean, Sonya Deville, I mean, I'm curious to see what they're doing with her and Mandy because they seem like they're kind of breaking them up. So after Survivor Series, I'll assume we're going to see something between them. But it's interesting. And I don't agree with what you said about, I don't agree about the Asuka thing, but I mean, but that's going to be interesting to see how this goes. And if you want to talk about it again, if you ask me, I know we don't really have any teams, I don't think, announced for Raw yet for the women's.
You're absolutely right. Legit. SmackDown was good. Raw was garbage. Absolutely.
Yeah. And this, to me, this is I'm sure Charlotte will be on the team. See, this would have helped if they would have done this 2 or 3 weeks out because you could have built this anticipation that is Charlotte going to be on the team even longer. You don't know, instead of only having 2 episodes to really build this whole, Charlotte has lost her smile, so she doesn't know what she wants to do, type thing. And it was just, I'm sure either she'll show up next week or she'll just show up at the event or something like that. But I'm sure we'll find out next week that Charlotte's going to be a part of the team, and that to me makes this team even bigger. Just like the men's team and the women's team,
Yeah, and the thing
they
too,
all star power. Go ahead.
and the thing is also when they, um, what was it, 2 weeks ago? Paige comes up to Charlotte and basically wanted Charlotte to be the captain, and she denied her. She said, "No, I think you need to pick someone else." So it doesn't seem like, yeah, like you said, she's lost her smile. She doesn't seem like she really wants to. She just seems like she's depressed. She's not happy because obviously of her losing to Becky Lynch over and over and over again. So let's move on with SmackDown Live, where we also saw Becky Lynch.
Yes, sir.
And she had a nice little promo back to Ronda Rousey.
She owned her.
Yeah, she got her back pretty good, saying that she wasn't picked, she wasn't handpicked for this spot. She clawed her way to the top, and look at where she is now. It was last week, DX. Appreciate that. My bad. What else? Calling her, she's the baddest bitch on the planet, but Survivor Series, she's gonna be my bitch. She's just going to town on Ronda Rousey. She was doing a really good job, and then we see the surprise of the night, which was Becky Lynch going and saying, "You know what? I'm amped up. I'm hyped up. I want to have a match. So, is there any brave women in the back who wants to come out and have a match?" When I'm thinking, okay, are we gonna get a surprise? Are we gonna get the same old maybe Naomi? And that's what I was thinking. Naomi's gonna come answer the challenge. No, it was Nikki Cross. Sanity comes out and points to the back, and it's Nikki Cross. Nikki comes down to the ring, and asks Becky if she wants to play, and you just got that crazy, insane Nikki Cross you getting on NXT, and then we got the match. Becky Lynch taking on Nikki Cross. Seems like Nikki Cross. I don't know if this is an official call up, but you would have to think so. What did you think of the Becky Lynch and Nikki Cross match? And what did you think of the debut of Nikki Cross?
Yeah, I mean, altogether, this whole promo was, I guess it's only fitting because it is Becky Lynch. This promo was straight fire. It was great. I loved it. Talking about I wasn't handpicked like you were, just, oh, I'm the next big thing of wrestling. But yeah, and the shocker, we actually got to see Eric Young, Insanity, and all them actually on SmackDown for a game. So that was a nice little change. And then she pops in and has the match. I don't think this is a call up. I think it was just, okay, here's a one night surprise. I wouldn't mind it either, but I honestly hope it's not a call up because even though I would like to see Becky Lynch on SmackDown, or Nikki Cross on SmackDown each week, but I just want Becky to. I like Becky on NXT by herself doing her own thing. Because even tonight, when they gave her the mic to let her talk, she had everyone here out of the palm of her hands for every word she said because it was awesome. I don't know if this was just a special one-time thing. It wouldn't matter to me if it was because I just rather see her by herself. But if she was called up and this would be awesome if it was. Instead of always getting the call-ups, during WrestleMania season, and that's it. Right after WrestleMania, we get a call-up. Why not give us like a special call-up that we don't see? That'd be kind of nice. So I hope it is. And I thought the match was good. But I didn't like the fact that Nikki had to lose, but you knew Becky couldn't lose going into facing Ronda Rousey. She couldn't lose the match. So
yeah, it wasn't like Nikki got buried. It was a nice match. She caught Nikki Cross kind of slipping and got her in the armbar, and Nikki Cross tapped out. It wasn't like Becky Lynch dominated her for 30 seconds and defeated her. Nikki Cross went out there. She performed. She looked good. Got caught slipping, got in the armbar, tapped out. That was it. Becky Lynch is going to keep that momentum going into facing Ronda Rousey at Survivor Series. And don't forget, everybody, we will be live right after Survivor Series is over. After Survivor Series is over, we will be doing our Survivor Series post show. Since it is one of the big 4 pay-per-views, we will be taking phone calls. So if you feel like you want to make a phone call on the Survivor Series post show, we will love for you guys to call in. So we will be doing that Survivor Series post show Saturday night, everybody. Dave will not be with us, but seemingly right now it looks like Alex will be on the show with me. But if I am solo by myself on Saturday, I will be also taking phone calls. So if you guys want to call in on Saturday as well, maybe even shoot the shit a little bit on the show, let me know via private message on Twitter and we will get things going from there. All right, so we had Samoa Joe take on Jeff Hardy in the main event of SmackDown Live. Samoa Joe picks up the win over Jeff Hardy and is now the final member of SmackDown Live. You have Samoa Joe, you have Rey Mysterio, Daniel Bryan, The Miz, and the best in the
How
world,
I
Shane
was gonna,
McMahon.
I was the best in the world, obviously. I was gonna talk about, or what you thought about how it all ended when Joe basically about to tap out, and then the Miz and Shane gets thrown across the ring. I mean, that was pretty interesting too. Kind of making SmackDown seem kind of combustible as a team.
Yeah, I would call in, but you don't know any New Japan. Oh, what an asshole! I know Jay White's the truth. That's all I know. Um, yeah. Post match, Joe gets in Daniel Bryan's face, and you can hear Miz saying, "All right, Daniel, don't do it, Daniel, don't do it, Daniel." And of course, Daniel Bryan does it. He goes after Samoa Joe, puts him in the yes lock, and that's when Miz tries to come up from behind and stop Daniel Bryan from doing what he does. And that's when Bryan punched Miz and Daniel with a judo throw to Shane McMahon, who Daniel did not realize was behind him.
I don't think he cared. He looked
Yeah.
right at him like, "Oh,
So it's
you know
got.
what?" I was just gonna say, I thought the match was good too itself. It was an entertaining match. One thing I didn't care for is Miz and Bryan on commentary just yelling at each other back and forth. I mean, it kind of taken away a little bit from the match.
Texas Kid for Life is calling in on Saturday. No effects. So
Oh,
if
then
you,
I'm glad I'm definitely not going
if
to be
you
here.
want to hear his lovely voice, he will be calling in on Saturday, possibly, if he's brave enough. Um, yeah, it's going to be interesting because it's definitely going to be that's going both tag team or both teams on Raw and SmackDown are not going to get along because you're going to have to assume that unless Baron Corbin picks nothing but heels and Braun Strowman ends up not being on the team, then Raw's going to have their arguments as well. It just sucks, like you said, they only have a week left to hype you up for Survivor Series. When last year they had the invasions and all this type of crap too. Also, we forgot to mention why we played AJ Styles music to begin with. You know, we always use the number one rule on our show is when there's a title change, we play the guys' theme music or our team's music when they win it. Obviously, AOP won the tag team titles last night, but AJ Styles, it's been a year since he won the WWE SmackDown Live World title. It happened. Let's see. He said, "This is what AJ Styles said on SmackDown Live." He said, "Life as a WWE superstar is unpredictable. He has defended his title on multiple continents against multiple opponents. His title reign began in Manchester. His award is facing the Universal Champion 2 years in a row. He is an opponent like no one else has faced. He did everything last year, but it wasn't enough. Some think it will play out the same way this year. AJ says that a Survivor Series he will beat Brock Lesnar. It's not a prediction; it's a spoiler." So, your thoughts on that, Dave? To kind of wrap up SmackDown Live, and do you think? I know we got next week for our prediction show that AJ Styles defeats Brock Lesnar.
I hope we get. I want to see Heyman cutting a promo on AJ Styles next week because that's going to be fun, and it's going to be a fun match to watch. And to me, it would only make sense, but WWE never wants to go the conventional route of making sense. So who knows? Who knows what way Vince will be swinging one way or the other, how he goes. But to me, it would only make sense since he had this long title reign. is to have AJ Styles beat Brock Lesnar. So I'm going to go with AJ over Brock.
All right, at the moment, I'm gonna have to go with AJ as well. I don't see the. I don't know. We'll get more into it.
I
When we
mean,
do the prediction
I'll
show.
say I'll say this. To me, it Brock. Who knows how long he's there? So why not have Brock actually put over somebody else? Like if he's gonna lose the title when he leaves his next time WrestleMania or the Rumble, if he's gonna put someone over. If Brock is leaving, then Brock should be the one putting people over.
Right, and he's losing to the world champion too, as well. Our prediction show for Survivor Series would also be the night before Survivor Series, so next Saturday, I believe, right? Maybe, yeah, maybe Brock invades SmackDown, takes out AJ, or what if Paul Heyman shows up on SmackDown next week and kind of calls out AJ Styles? It's going to be interesting. They got to do something to get you kind of amped up for Survivor
But
Series.
will that really amp? Yeah, I get Brock Lesnar definitely would because it's Brock Lesnar. If Brock Lesnar shows up on SmackDown, which I doubt it'll happen because it's Brock Lesnar, but if that happened, that would be cool. But I don't want to see a freaking stupid invasion angle again. It's
Yeah,
so
I
stupid and it
feel
means
you on that.
nothing.
They gotta do something to get you kind of going for the show. You know what
If
I
they
mean?
want to do Ronda or Brock Lesnar popping up on SmackDown, that's fine because that's something different and it would add something to SmackDown. So it's like you act like you're hurting SmackDown, you're really not. You're helping them. I mean, so it's still WWE. It's not like it's them going to invade ROH or something or New Japan. It's not. It's the same company. This rivalry that they have is so stupid.
Yep, absolutely. So we'll see what happens and see what WWE has in store for us next week, going into Survivor Series. Is it really next weekend?
The 18th.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, so they'll be getting us ready for SmackDown Live. Anything interesting happened today, SmackDown Live? Other than what we just talked about, the SmackDown Live teams being announced, and next week we get the Raw. We got Brock Lesnar and Stephanie McMahon on Raw next week. I think AJ will drop the title to the Miz at the Royal Rumble. Okay, says Drew Gotti. All right, that's a bold little prediction right there. I heard they didn't want to do Roman versus AJ Styles at Survivor Series before Roman got sick. Really, didn't even read. I didn't read about that, so that's interesting news.
Well, if that would have been the match, then AJ would definitely be losing. I'm sorry, but that would have been the story right there. But yeah, but yeah, I figured. I heard they didn't want to do that either, and if this was the route that they were had to go because he got sick, that they were gonna go actual make a regular pay per view and maybe have a 5-on-5. But other than that, it was gonna be titles. I mean, really, does this pay per view like do anything for anybody? You get no title matches. It's just air quotes Team Raw versus Team SmackDown the whole night. And maybe we'll get a cruiserweight title match, and that'll be your only title match. But I mean, what does this show do? Nothing. I guess there's some matches. Rollins versus Nakamura to me is interesting. AJ and Brock could be good. We'll have to wait and see. And I mean, yeah, the tag match looks good. I mean, but other than and then you get your 5-on-5. But does this really do anything for anybody? To me, it doesn't.
Yes. Oh, Ruski. Damn, that is right. War Games is that Saturday night as well. Holy crap! Totally forgot about that. So yes, what we're gonna do, gosh, is really Survivor Series next week. It is next Sunday. So what we're gonna do next week, then, everybody, is maybe pick a day out of the week next week and do a prediction show for both War Games and Survivor Series, because obviously Saturday of next weekend will not be a shoot the shit show. It'll be War Games post show. We'll be going over NXT War Games and get you guys ready for Survivor Series. Obviously, we'll probably go over our predictions on that Saturday night War Game show, but maybe pick a day next week. Probably put a poll up on the Twitter for you guys to vote on which day you guys would like us to do our prediction show. So, yeah, next week, Survivor Series. Next week, NXT War Games. Thursday next week, good. Yeah, maybe we could do it Thursday next week like we did this past last week for Crown Jewel. Maybe we could do that. Exactly, my bad. But WWE is getting boring with the same old BS, especially Brock winning again. Yeah. I could see your point on that, but I think Brock was probably the safest move that they could go with at the moment because he's the for sure draw that WWE knows for sure that they have. I don't know if they know what they would get out of maybe a McIntyre or a Strowman quite yet. 3 pay-per-views in 5 weeks. Yeah, I don't even know if it's not good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because Evolution,
better
and we just
probably.
had yeah.
War Games is going to be definitely a show that I think a lot of people should check out. I just want a full New Japan Pro Wrestling post show with no Tony. Hey, if Dave and Alex want to do that one night, they're more than welcome to. They know the password to the show, and if they want to do it one night, they're more than welcome to. When is TLC? It's in December. Not sure the exact date. It is in December. So
They
we got
were just released some of the card for Wrestle Kingdom. I mean, Jericho versus Naito for the IC title looks really good, and Okada versus Jay White. I mean, man, those are some good matches.
Yeah, we'll definitely touch more of that on a Saturday night show because Alex, I'm sure, will be on the show and want to talk about that. So we'll go over a little bit of New Japan, get that 5 minutes of New Japan going, and touch on everything else going around the wrestling rumors and all that stuff. We've had a pretty good, solid show tonight. A little bit over 900 viewers, almost 1,000, like the usual. It's pretty
What
crazy.
would,
What?
what would you rate SmackDown tonight?
Yeah, I was about to touch. Yeah, so I would give it a 4. I'd give
Yeah,
SmackDown
I
a
would.
pretty entertaining show tonight.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that's a good number. I mean, I'm not sure how good next week's going to be for either show, but yeah, I think a 4 is a fair number because I thought SmackDown really gave you 3 solid matches tonight.
Yep, and no effects. I saw that Braun and Drew are scheduled to face each other at TLC, so it's going to be interesting to see if how that plays out. So
I
again, I
bet
just
you
want to
it's
say thank you everybody for joining us, and I just want to say thank you everybody for the massive support that you have given us this past year. I was looking back at some of our old shows back in the day, this time last year, and we never hit 1,000 viewers like we did do this on this year on a consistent basis. It's pretty crazy how things changed in a year, and I don't know if it was because we got featured that one time or what. It just the amount of support has been booming, and I just wanted to say thank you very very much from the bottom of our hearts for the appreciation that you've been giving us. It's been absolutely crazy, and that's why we're gonna do a big Christmas basket giveaway during our December giveaway. It's gonna be pretty nice. Probably a gift card to the WWE fan shop and a couple of other gift card stuff to go along with that. So remember, hit if you're not already, go over there and hit that subscribe button over on the YouTube. We would try to get to 90 subscribers, even to 100 by the end of the year, which would be great. Thank you again, everybody, for the hearts and the super hearts. Don't forget, Thursday night, I'll be on the Seeds and Benchmark show, touching on Raw and SmackDown Live and whatever those fellas want to touch on as well. It's going to be different being in the guest chair and being asked the questions for once. So, yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, everybody, for the support because I could remember when Dave and I would come on here and Justin as well. We would do these Periscope shows and we would get barely 200 viewers. And I thought that was awesome. And now we're getting close, getting over 1,000, 2,000, 4,000 viewers sometimes. It's just amazing. So the amount of support you guys have given us, sharing the broadcast and retweeting us and following us on Twitter. There's our Twitters right there up top. It's been great. And I don't know how else to thank you guys. So it's just been an awesome experience. And I would like to expand the show and big things are coming. I'm going to get the SoundCloud going, iTunes hopefully soon down the road. Hopefully t-shirts. It's all on the just trying to find the right people to have the hookups with, man. It's just hard to find people. So if you guys know anybody, hit me up and let me know because I would love to try to get this stuff on the road. Yeah, Jody, a lot of you guys that are in here right now have been here since day one, and it's pretty cool, and it's an amazing time right now, and we do appreciate everybody. So, Dave, all right, you won't be here on Saturday. So any last words till we see you Tuesday, the week of Survivor Series and NXT War Games.
I mean, man, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to next weekend. It's gonna be really fun. But yeah, this coming weekend, yeah, I mean, I don't know what you guys are gonna talk about after everything in wrestling, obviously, but yeah, people need to start watching 205 Live and hopefully Impact too because those ratings have been dismal. But and it's been good shows, and this week's gonna be really good. But yeah, like you said, we appreciate everyone who's been with us over a year. We've been doing this for almost 3 years now,
Mm-hmm.
I believe, on this channel. So it's been a lot of fun. I mean, we never thought this would really turn into this when we first started this.
And just
I mean,
think of
heck,
this, everybody. We've been live on Tuesday, every Tuesday for the last 2 years. We have not missed the Raw and SmackDown live post show in 2 years. We've been live every Tuesday night, touching on Raw and SmackDown, regardless if it was good or bad. And I think that's what's given us that loyal support is that we're consistent and we're live every week and we try to be
hello.